Bismillah. My pen sheds its tears of ink as it spreads its tale of a man who would put his friends up for sale. He used to backbite, entertain the crowd with his impersonations, and now his story will be told to the ears of your nations. It's a story of patience, a lesson to be learned, that the blessings of life aren't given, they're earned. How many people lived like him and in hell they burned? How many people's lives took a negative turn, all because they live a life of no concern? Your family doesn't have to be blood or of a big size, just never be blinded by your own eyes. Rashid was barely 30 when he learned of an upcoming son. Day of his wife's conception, he was out having fun. He used to drink and tell his friends jokes to make them laugh and backbite the people that he met in the past. His joke one day came out to go too far, to the extent that he tripped an old blind man at the local bazaar. He was seen as a joker, an entertainer of glee. Learned that his son was born without the gift to see. The boy's name was Salim, he soon found. He used to ignore the baby every time he'd hear his sound. This occurred for years on end. His wife loved him though. When he grew, he was crippled, couldn't walk nor throw. Rashid kept ignoring the signs that Allah was given. He'd forget his fam and live the life he was living. No matter how much his wife would beg, he wouldn't listen. But his wife kept making dua, hoping he'd be forgiven. So my pen sheds its tears of ink as it spreads its tale of a man who would put his friends up for sale. He used to backbite, entertain the crowd with his impersonations. Now his story will be told to the ears of your nations. It's a story of patience, a lesson to be learned, that the blessings of life aren't given, they're earned. How many people lived like him and in hell they burned? How many people's lives took a negative turn, all because they live a life of no concern? Your family don't have to be blood or of a big size, just never be blinded by your own eyes. The man was heading out, tightening his tie. When out in the stairwell, he heard Salim cry. He debated whether or not he should help his son, and realized there could be other chances for fun. He asked Salim why he was crying so much. Salim felt around for his shoes, trying to escape his touch. Rashid felt bad that his son gave him no trust. Wiped the tears off his face, held his hand in a cusp, and learned that by listening and being patient, that his other son Umair was supposed to take Salim to the Friday congregations. Rashid understood at once, took his shoes off the shelf, held Salim's hand and took him himself. It's been a long time since he's seen the inside of a mosque and realized just how much of his precious time was lost. He realized that the blindness of his son was the blind man's cost. Oh, how he remembered the pain on the old man's face, the utter disgrace. He'll forget all his friends, forget all his mates. As he listened to the khutbah, he felt prostrate and learnt the sweetness of Iman in the Islamic faith. So my pen sheds its tears of ink as it spreads its tale of a man who would put his friends up for sale. He used to backbite, entertain the crowd with his impersonations. Now his story will be told to the ears of your nations. A story of patience, a lesson to be learned, that the blessings of life aren't given, they're earned. How many people live like him and in hell they burned? How many people's lives took a negative turn, all because they live a life of no concern? Your family don't have to be blood or of a big size, just never be blinded by your own eyes. They returned to the wife, who embraced them as soon as they entered her sight. She fell to her knees, thanked Allah for letting her husband see the light. Rashid ditched his old friends, found new ones at the mosque, learned that they were going to Hajj and paid the full cost. He used to call them to extend his peace. He loved Salim now, bought him gifts from the markets on the streets. But when he came home, his heart shattered to pieces in his chest as his wife was crying, not being able to tell him of Salim's death. He asked, "Where's Salim?" loudly as tears sprung to his eyes. And his son Umair said, "Baba, he's with Allah up in paradise." So let this message hit your ears, immigrate to your minds. Your family is something you can't afford to leave behind. It doesn't even have to be of your bloodline. It took Rashid his whole life to realize it wasn't his son who was blind, it was he without the real eyes, because he lived a life of fake truths and real lies. You must understand that the family is the basic building block of this faith, and the beauty of it shall never prevent tears from coming to the face. And if it's one thing that I learned to discover, it's the never-ending love of one's mother, the playfulness and connection between one's brother. The Prophet tells us to love our mother more than the mister, to realize the true beauty that's in the veiled sister. If change were to happen, it should start at home. So spread the love to the Islamic family that you own, and inshallah, Jannah will be the ultimate prize when you love your family and never be blinded by your own eyes.